All right, let's do it. Hello, this is Mark Fiquez, regional correspondent for the website Stadium Journey, the industry's leader in sports venue reviews. This is the Ballpark Hunter podcast, and with me today is Parker Huffman, general manager of the Portland Pickles of the Summer Collegiate West Coast League. Parker, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so how are things out there in Oregon today?
Things are great. It's been kind of a weird year in terms of weather for us. We had the wettest June in history, I believe. So, had a few rainouts early in our season. But now it's been pretty much all sunshine since late June. So, kind of waiting for the rain to come, but not complaining over here. So sun is out, and yeah, we're just getting prepared and planning for the 2023 season. Ticket team is in full sales mode, and yeah, things are looking good.
Yeah. Now, what's the typical weather like in Portland in October, November?
I, I mean, typically, it's overcast, probably raining most days, but
Mhm.
we really haven't even had any rain all of September and October, which is pretty crazy. Just a few showers here and there. So it's
Yeah.
definitely not your typical weather here in Oregon.
Yeah, I think I was in Portland in 2009 and it was a heat wave, 90-degree
Yeah,
plus days.
yeah,
And my friend and I, we were stopping at all the different falls uh, along the way, and some of them you can just jump into these beautiful crystal clear uh, pools of lakes, these little mini
yeah,
lakes.
yeah.
And one of them was this giant rock you could jump off of, and it was just so hot, and you couldn't help yourself. So I go out there a couple.
Your audio went out again, Mark.
Years. Like about 50 degrees. Oh, I cut out again. Let's see. How's that?
Now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay. All right. No, normally people have issues on the other end. So yeah, if it happens, I'll just pull off the microphone and we'll do it from the external mic here. So
Sure, no
before I
problem.
cut off again, I
Yeah,
was I was talking about the heat wave in Portland. So
yeah.
when we go to a Portland Pickles game, are we expecting kind of a cool night, not too hot, just nice, perfect weather?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the the weather's been a little weird these last few years. So, yeah, I mean, June, we typically have a little bit of rain here and there, but once we get into late June and July and August, that's the best time to be in Oregon. The summers out here are beautiful. Everything is still green. But yeah, I mean, most nights at our ballpark, we'll start around 7 o'clock, and the sun is out, it's beautiful, and then we get 3 or 4 innings into the game and the sun starts creeping behind the trees and sets, and it cools down a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much perfect conditions for baseball most of our season.
Yeah, that's the way I like it. So Parker, let's go back in time a few years ago. You were an intern with the
Yeah,
Pickles. Now you're a GM. I think it took you less than 3 years to get that way.
yeah.
How did your journey begin? Did you just apply for an internship, or had you gone to games and said, "Hey, this is a team I want to be a part of somehow"?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the Portland area, about 20 minutes south of where our office and our stadium is. And I had actually never been to a Pickles game,
Really?
but
Okay.
yeah, I definitely had heard about them. They kind of came into this city when I was in college. So I was out in Corvallis at Oregon State. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was a marketing major. I played 1 year baseball in my first year of college at a community college right outside of Corvallis, and realized that it probably wasn't going to go much further than
Mhm.
that for me. So decided to hang up the cleats and focus on school. But then, yeah, I'd say probably my last couple of years of college, I really started thinking, I've been around sports my entire life, and really missed being around a team. And the game I love, baseball, is definitely my number one sport.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Started thinking about ways that, I could apply my marketing degree and go into sports and see how I could get involved. And so I was looking around at a bunch of different opportunities and found the Pickles internship. So I applied and interviewed with who was our previous GM, Ross Campbell. And so, yeah, I mean, right after I graduated from Oregon State, started as an intern, and have just kind of worked my way up. I mean, the great thing about the Pickles and the internship program specifically is, um, we rely on our interns really heavily to make the season happen. We get 20 to 25 interns coming in, and they're doing everything in the ballpark from set up before the game to running the merch booth, running the broadcast, in-game promotions, everything. So I was able to get exposed to a lot of different things in a short amount of time, and I loved it and just kind of soaked it all up. And then found that there was kind of a need in the ticketing office at the time. So I started really working closely with the main ticket rep, Kevin Herbst, and he kind of, showed me the way, and I learned a lot there. And yeah, after that season, they hired me on doing ticket sales, and I did that for a couple of years. And then this past season, I was assistant GM working closely with Ross, and then recently got the promotion to GM. So yeah, it's been definitely kind of a quick ride up to GM, but I think, like I said, the beauty of the Pickles is I've been able to wear so many different hats in a short amount of time. So really, really, really grateful and excited to see what happens next.
Yeah. So now that you're GM, any ideas you're going to implement that have not been talked about or even discussed? You have some grand plans for the 23 season.
Well, I'll say it's definitely a very collaborative effort here.
Yes, obviously.
We're a pretty small front office. We've actually expanded now. It was even smaller. I think we've got 9 full-time staffers now, but we're working really closely together every single day. So we've had some recent meetings about promo nights coming up, and really excited for some new stuff there for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys have a lot of fun with social media.
Yeah.
The ballpark, I see a lot of wacky promotions taking place that you see at other games, but you guys are standing out. People know about you coast from coast. I think with
Yeah.
merchandise, you probably have sales from most 50 states, if not all. I mean, your brand's pretty hot from what I gathered.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we might have a couple of states to hit still, but yeah, I mean, we've had international sales pretty frequently as well from countries in Asia and Australia, the UK. So yeah, people definitely know about us. And yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we use to our advantage is that we're not an affiliated team. So we kind of have the ability to get a little bit more creative and run with some ideas that there's not a ton of hoops for us to jump through to get things approved. So we run with that and embrace that. And yeah, I mean, we want to appeal to everyone. So our games are not just for, your typical baseball fan. It's for everybody. There's something crazy that's going to be happening between innings or, down on the concourse. So I think that's what allowed us to, really kind of stand out amongst baseball teams and gain a real following and loyal following in the community as well.
Yeah, because a lot of people want to start a team, some are collegiate, they want to take a small ballpark and expand on it. They want to make it a place for people to enjoy the game
Yeah.
and sell merchandise and food and have people coming back. But that's a hard task. So why do you think Portland, which started off playing, I don't even think that was an actual ballpark when you guys first moved in there. It was a small venue, but you've expanded
Mhm.
it where
Yeah.
it's a place that people come to. What makes it work in Portland? What makes you guys so popular out there where in other towns you may not see this type of success?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have an awesome marketing team. I'll say that for sure. It doesn't hurt us to have a 7 foot tall pickle running around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the marketing and the promotions has been huge for us. Again, Portland is known for being weird. We
Yeah,
pride ourselves on that.
definitely.
So, um, I think that we've really captured the Portland community by just being different. And the Portland is actually got great baseball history. From way back in the day, Portland Beavers, Portland Mavericks. So,
Oh yeah, Mavericks.
um, yeah, I mean, I think also the fact that, there is the Hillsborough Hops that are minor league team for the Giants, but really within the city limits of Portland, we're the only ticket in town. And we really pride ourselves on being family friendly and um, you know, along with the prices, our tickets and our food and our beer, we really want to align all of our prices to be, more something that you would see at a local restaurant or bar,
Okay.
as opposed to, a $16 beer that you might be used to buying at a stadium. So, yeah, we really pride ourselves on creating an environment that everybody can feel safe and comfortable and have a great time in.
Yeah. No, you're telling me I went to goodness, where was I? I think I was in Houston this year on an Astros game.
Yeah,
And I think the beer was about 14 bucks for like a
yeah,
20-ounce can. I'm like, my
yeah.
goodness, where have these prices gone up to? How much is a beer at your place and what kind of craft beer can I find there?
Well, yeah, we have tons of different options.
Mm,
Our prices for a domestic beer, I think we're $5 or $6, and then a
nice.
craft is about 7 to 8, depending on the size. So,
Mm,
but yeah, I mean, we've got probably 20 different offerings when it comes to beer. We've got a lot of great local breweries that we work with. Portland and Oregon in general is a great area when it comes to craft beer. So we've really got it all. Lots of different IPAs. Every single type of beer that you could really want, we've got it. And then we've also got two full bars selling cocktails as well. So
yeah, yeah.
our fans definitely come out and have a good time.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I my favorite nights are Thirsty Thursdays when
Yeah,
beer's a little cheaper and there's a lot more people out there just kind of hanging out watching the game. But
yeah.
I've also talked to friends of mine who have children. They love Sundays when their kids can run around the bases or eat for free or
Mhm.
watch fireworks. So you definitely appeal to all those fan bases. So yeah, that's great to hear. I have yet to go out to a game. I used to go to Portland quite a bit. In fact, I proposed to my wife in Oregon in Lincoln
Really?
City. Lincoln
That's
City.
awesome.
I was on the beach. She didn't see it coming, and that's where we proposed. So she loves Portland. We've always had a great time there. And I think the last time we were well, one no, it wasn't the last time. I was there for the home opener of the Hops, Hillsborough Hops,
Okay.
when they
Yeah.
came back. So that was a lot of fun to be at the home opener for that. But my wife's not a big baseball fan. But if there's wine or some wine slushies or mixed drinks,
Yeah.
and
We've
maybe a
we've got it
girlfriend.
all.
Yeah, maybe a girlfriend should be excited. So
Yeah.
Walker Stadium, I've seen pictures. I've watched games on I guess Facebook. I've seen the games somewhere online.
Hmm.
What's the experience like? Like, am I getting hit with a lot of promotions as soon as I park my car or walk up to the stadium? Kind of guide me through what I should do if I'm there visiting for the first time, or what to expect, or what should I expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the gates are opening, yeah, I mean, there's going to be fun stuff on the concourse. We usually have, some local businesses that are activating in the concourse area, and of course, Dylan T. Pickle will be
Dylan.
running around greeting the fans. So, yeah, when you walk in, it's a really, really cool ballpark. It's in the middle of a city park, in the middle of a neighborhood. It's got a lot of history behind it, and it's a park that a lot of people have grown up playing at around the area when they were, coming up in youth baseball. There's adult leagues that play at our field as well. So it's been used by a lot of different people, and I think that's the coolest part of it is you're really in this tight knit community, and it's a really cool intimate ballpark. There's really not a bad seat in the house. We've got our grandstands and then our box seats up front, and then extending down the left and right field lines are just these big grass areas where you can bring in your own lawn chairs and set up your spot first come first serve.
Mhm.
So it's a really cool area. And then we've expanded all the way around the outfield fence. We have 80 picnic tables underneath these big fir trees. So it's a unique experience, and it's not a huge ballpark, but at the same time, we're averaging 3,000 fans, and when there's 3,000 fans in that park, it feels
Mhm.
like even more. So it's a really cool experience, and definitely something you got to check out if you haven't.
Yeah, and what's the capacity there?
Capacity now is about 4,500.
Okay,
So
yeah, so 3,000, yeah, definitely makes it
yeah,
feel a little bit bigger. And like I said, I feel like that stadium keeps growing and changing year
yeah,
after year. It's like 1 minute it just has grandstands and it has party decks and then it has bars.
yeah.
Any changes for 23? Any improvements? Anything to expect?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think we're really happy with where we're at with the ballpark layout. But yeah, I mean, there's been discussions. There's a visitors bullpen and beyond the right field fence that I think could be a really cool area to utilize, maybe some sort of a beer garden, or we could even put some bleachers out there. So that's something that we've talked about, potentially something that we're going to look into, and moving the visitors bullpen somewhere along the right field side. But yeah, like I said, I think we're really happy with where we're at with the ballpark, and fans of, as we got those new picnic tables, I think they're slowly realizing that that is a really cool and unique experience. So yeah, we're happy, but yeah, we'll see. As we continue to grow, we may have to make some changes.
Yeah, I mean that's a good problem to have. You keep getting more and more fans. That's I talked to some teams like that. I was the Great Lakes League. I was at the Royal Oaks Leprechauns. They play outside of Detroit. Small little city ballpark,
Yeah,
near residential area, near homes and businesses. And I kind it, I kind of got the sense that's kind of how your ballpark was at the beginning. Just something small, grandstands, but just a very fun environment. I think beers were 5, $6 there. Tickets were $6.
yeah,
And I heard a lot of people talking. Yeah, I'd rather come here to watch a game, than go out to the movies or go out to a restaurant because it's a lot of fun excitement here. A lot of interns, very friendly staff. So
yeah,
I mentioned, I go, yeah, I bet this is how the Portland Pickles started. And, they're like, oh, that's a nice compliment if that's the case. So
yeah.
they definitely know who you guys are. Now, getting back to the entertainment there, uh,
Sure.
what are some of the wackiest promotions you guys done? Because, you push the envelope sometimes.
Sure.
Anything you've done that hasn't worked or what are the ones that you're like, wow, I can't believe we pulled that off.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been here, it really feels like pretty much everything has worked, and that's what's been so fun about it. I think our fans really kind of buy into our ideas, and they do a great job of elevating the theme nights themselves by whether they're dressing up or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, some of our staples starting in 2019. Uh, and now it's every single Tuesday is Tattoo Tuesday, where fans can enter to be selected to receive a free real Pickles tattoo.
Real
So
one,
there's
permanent.
a real permanent tattoo. Yeah, we have a mobile tattoo studio. It's a bus that comes in, and can just do one person in there at a time, and he pumps out probably about 20 tattoos per game. We have a waiting list of hundreds of people now. um, every Wednesday is Wolf Wednesday, where people can bring their dogs to the park, so
Always
you
a favorite of
like
mine.
to see, yeah, hundreds of dogs running around, and that's always a blast. I would say last year, probably my favorite promotion since I've been here was Exploding Whale Night.
I know.
And
I think I know the background to this story, right? Years
yeah,
ago, like 50 years ago, there was a whale that blew up and
yep, yep.
splattered over everybody's car in person.
Yes, in 1970, there's a whale that
So,
washed up on the Oregon coast, and they didn't really know what to do with it.
no.
So the plan that they devised was they were going to explode it with a bunch of dynamite, and the explosion I think was a little bit bigger than they anticipated. So yeah, chunks of whale were flying like over a mile away, destroyed cars. Thankfully, nobody was hurt that was in the area, but so those are the exactly the types of things that we get that story, and it's so weird and interesting, such an interesting part of
And and and
Oregon history.
and then what did you guys do did you recreate an exploding
We
whale
recreated
somehow?
it. Yes, we did. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we always have an amazing group of interns, and we kind of task them with, we've got this idea to do it. Now we want you guys to kind of run with it and bring it to fruition. So they built a whale out of wood and cardboard. It was about 40 feet long, and they made it look all realistic by
Wow.
painting it and everything. And so after the game, we ran it out onto center field, and they did their research on how to put some chemicals together to shoot foam about 40 feet into the air, and we had smoke bombs going, and recreated the moment. It was amazing. It was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night in this neighborhood in Portland, and we had 2,500 fans screaming whale, whale, whale. So it was a really cool moment, and definitely one of the most unique things you're probably going to see at a ballpark.
Well, no cars were damaged, correct?
No cars were
Good.
damaged. So yeah,
Good.
we
Yeah.
did better than 1970, I'd
Yeah,
say.
and that was yeah, and you guys go to YouTube and look up that footage. There's news footage, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's sometimes you hear these stories and there's very little information. Like 10-cent beer night. I don't think there's any video out there.
yeah,
That was the infamous night in Cleveland in '74. But yeah,
yeah.
there's a full news footage of the whale before and after, and chunks and car damage,
Oh yeah.
all in color too. So check that on YouTube. You should be more than happy to find that. So, yeah, that sounds like a pretty fun, crazy night. And, I'm sure there's a lot of people that may not have heard about it. I don't know if that lives in Portland lore, but I'm sure they
Yeah.
knew about it after.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people in the Oregon area,
Okay, so
the whole
everybody knows
state,
that.
the whole state really knows
Okay,
about
okay,
that story.
okay.
And yeah, we educated people beforehand by promoting the video from 1970 and
Yeah.
all of that as well. So
Oh, way back in the day. That's
yeah,
well before my time. So it's
yeah.
always good to get a nice history lesson. So Dylan T. Pickle, this is a busy guy. What's his off season? Is he still doing appearances? Is he
Yes, yes. He's always on the move, always doing something interesting. So yeah, I mean he's had quite the year, starting with him traveling to the Dominican Republic to go to the Caribbean series. On his way back, he was in a piece of luggage and was misplaced by Delta.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So that was a whole saga. And then Delta dropped the luggage off at our office in the middle of the night, basically. And nobody was here, obviously, to pick it up. And it was stolen off of the office front porch. So Dylan was missing for almost 10 days. And we put the word out on social media, had so many people that were supporting us and trying to figure out what happened. And he was anonymously dropped off at one of our partners, Voodoo Donuts. So that was a crazy moment. And then, yeah, I mean, he's had all types of things going on. He tackled a streaker at one of our games. That went viral. So he's been all over the place. But yeah, I mean, during our off season, we love to take trips and our ownership and Ross, who I mentioned was our GM before me, they like to go on these international trips and experience baseball in different countries and see the way that they do things
Mm,
and get ideas from them. So they'll be traveling. Dylan's got plans right now. He's going to go visit one of our other owners, John Ryan, who's currently playing football in the CFL. He's the former punter for the Seattle Seahawks. And he's currently playing for the Edmonton Elks. So he's going to make a trip up there to visit John.
okay, cool.
And then I think he's going to be making a trip over to Europe as well before he comes back. So stay tuned on our social media channels. I'm sure we'll have some very fun and interesting coverage of that trip.
Yeah. So that whole Dylan getting lost in a suitcase, that wasn't planned. That just
No,
no,
none of that was
none of
planned.
that was
And
planned.
uh, we're obviously known for being a little crazy and wacky, so I can understand people being a little bit skeptical of the whole thing. But yeah, it was not planned. He really was lost for like I said, about 10 days. And yeah, we really didn't know what to do. And it was amazing to see all the support that we
Yeah.
got through the community, which I think ultimately led whoever took him to feel like they had to do the right thing and bring
Yeah.
him back.
I don't know what you would do with a Dylan mascot. It's not like you can hide that and go out and wear it for Halloween or,
Yeah.
hey, look, I found a mascot for a business or a baseball team. Like we know who you are. You can't, even if
Right.
you color us a different color, it's a pickle.
Yeah, I think whoever took it, saw a big package and
Mhm.
and grabbed it, and then I can't imagine what their reaction was when they got home and realized what
Yeah.
was in the package. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think we necessarily want to know what happened over those 10 days. Dylan has never really wanted to talk about it, but
I don't blame him.
we're
Yeah.
just glad that we got him back.
Glad he's back. Yeah, I know. I talked to somebody, the Lincoln Potters, they're based out of Sacramento, and their
Mhm.
mascot was stolen, was a peacock. And
Really?
yeah, somebody broke in and stole the mascot. And he was returned as well. Because I just think if you're a thief and you steal something,
Yeah.
oh, it's a team mascot,
Yeah.
yeah, might as well give it back, unless I just don't know where you're going to hide with this,
Yeah.
especially in the area. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, we know who you are. So, all right.
Yeah.
So before I let you go,
Sure.
social media, you guys have about close to 40,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Dylan was involved in something on there. Somebody wanted free merchandise, and you kind of were messing with this guy. Who's in charge of all that, or is it a collection of people that handle the social media?
Yeah, again, we're really collaborative
Yeah,
around here. So yeah, it's a team effort for sure, but yeah, it's been amazing to see the growth. I mean, I think um, about 2020, right before the pandemic started, we had about 5,500 followers on Twitter. And when the pandemic hit, we were just searching for ways to stay relevant, continue to push our brand. And so we really decided to double down and focus on the digital side of things and social media. And yeah, it just kind of took off. Dylan has definitely had his moments on there. Yeah, from sending notes to troll some people on Twitter to his infamous Twitter takeover with his photo that was misconstrued and ended
yes,
up on late night shows and articles all around the country. So he's definitely been a help, I would say, in us getting some attention. But yeah, I mean, I think also people just really love the brand. We have amazing merchandise that we're continually dropping new stuff. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and I think it goes back to you know we can we can kind of do some things and say some things that some other teams, may be a little bit hesitant to say and do, because of the space that we're in and not being affiliated or anything like that. It gives us a lot of creative freedom, and we have an amazing team that comes up with some really fun ideas. So it's been a lot of fun to be involved in that and see how much it's grown. And we have no plans of slowing down.
no, no. And then things start organically too, like the upside down chairs after a strikeout, correct? That's how did
Yeah.
that all start? Just one guy, two guys later?
Yeah, I mean, I think it started in 2016, and it was one of our pitchers out in the bullpen. Every time that we would score a run, he would raise his chair up over his head, and it just kind of expanded from there. Like I said, we have some really amazing general admission areas where you bring your own lawn chair and set up your own spot out there. So there's probably more opportunity than most ballparks for people to be raising chairs over their heads. So
I
it
could
just kind of
imagine.
took
Yeah.
off, and yeah, now it's our thing. Every time we score a run, everybody in the stadium that has a chair raises it over their heads, and it's a cool, unique experience.
Yeah. Tradition is born. And any other wacky traditions from the stadium that we may not know about or
Well, I would say, some of our on-field activities in between innings have become some staples. Dizzy bat is definitely our number one. I would say we get three fans that put their heads on wiffle bats that are on the ground and they spin around 10 times. Sometimes our on-field host messes up his counting, so it ends up being a few more than 10, but then they got to race to Dylan. So that's always very fun and exciting. People falling down and trying to get back up. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff. Tossing pickles into cups, whoever can catch the most pickles. We've got a pickle juice drinking contest, which is always a classic. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Definitely something, like I said, if you haven't been there to
Mhm.
experience it, you got to see it in person to really understand how unique and fun the experience
Yeah,
is.
yeah, and pickle juice I heard is pretty good for you too, especially if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
made
full of
without the vinegar.
electrolytes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I used to always love getting that giant pickle from the pickle jar,
Yeah, yeah,
and it used to love drinking the pickle juice as well. When you were done with eating all the pickles from the jar, so
of
I
course.
I could contest to that. So, all right, well, I want to thank you for coming on here, Parker. I appreciate your time. And where can we find you guys? I'm sure we know where, but let us know where we can find you and what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, appreciate you having me on today. It's been fun, and certainly willing to come back anytime you want.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can find us on all social media platforms. It's at Pickles Baseball. Our website is picklesbaseball.com, where you can stay up to date on any news happening. We'll be releasing roster announcements here pretty soon as we kind of finish up our roster here over the next month or so. And yeah, in November we should get our schedule from the league. And picklestickets.com is the place that you want to go to get tickets for any game throughout the season.
And what's the least expensive ticket to purchase?
Our general admission berms, I think, are priced at $12 right
Okay,
now. So
12 bucks.
that's the cheapest one. And they don't go any higher than 25. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, 12 bucks. That's I think movies are about 14 right now.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing. I feel like my father complaining about, oh, I remember when a movie was 6 bucks to see. Now
Yeah,
now they're
yeah,
almost 16.
exactly. It's just like
Oh,
gas prices, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's crazy, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what we
well,
live in.
well, now that I still have you out here,
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey where you're not allowed to, there's no self-service. It's all full service. Is that still the case in Oregon or are
It
there certain counties where they changed the law?
No, it's still the case here in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there was a time, again, going back to crazy weather, we had a big heat wave, and so they allowed self-service for a time for some of those situations because it was so hot out.
Okay.
But no,
Wow.
it's no self-service here still,
Yeah.
which is pretty unique.
And people like that. It's not, I feel like in New Jersey, we don't want self service. Like if we have to go to New York or Pennsylvania, it's like, we
Yeah,
got to pump our own gas. Is
yeah.
that how you guys feel like when you go to Washington State? Like,
Yeah, for
oh,
sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, me too.
it's a good thing. I think, it creates a lot of jobs and things like that as well. But yeah, I lived in Vancouver, Washington for about a year. Um, and yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like you step out of your car and you're kind of uncomfortable. It's like I've never had to pump my own
Hmm.
gas before, but
No, no, it's and I can tell you I was back home in New Jersey a few years ago, and I guess I wasn't thinking. I actually got out and pumped my own gas.
yeah.
And I jumped back in the car and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm in New Jersey. Why the
Yeah.
heck did I do that? And nobody came up to me. I mean,
That's funny.
that's the thing when you're in Oregon, New Jersey, somebody comes up to you and you give them the
Yeah.
credit card and you say fill it up.
Yeah.
You say fill it up regular, $10, $20. Well, $10 doesn't get you anywhere anymore, but
Right.
it's just a common practice. And we used to make fun. And then now that I'm in Indiana, yeah, you pump your own gas, which I don't have a problem doing that either. But when I'm back home in New Jersey or I'm out in Oregon, it's interesting to know here are these two, long-standing states that are not changing for anybody, and they don't
That's
care what you
right.
think. So,
That's right.
all right. Well, Parker, thank you for coming on here. Had a great time talking about the Pickles. I think you were one of the franchises that was on my list. Like, hey, I would love to talk to the Pickles because they are doing baseball and they're doing it the right way. Just a lot of fun, creative, innovative ideas. So thank
Yeah.
for coming on, and best of luck this offseason. Best of luck in the West Coast League in 23.
Awesome. All right, Mark. Appreciate the time as well. And yeah, I'm here for you anytime if you want to chat. So
All right. Sounds great.
appreciate it, and good luck to you as well.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Take care. All right. That was Parker Huffman. These GMs are getting young. They're getting younger by the day. Back in the day, you talked to a GM, he was older or she was older than you. Now they're like baby faced kids out of college. So I'm getting old. I like to think I still have a baby face, but it's a baby face for probably a little bit of an older guy. So that was Parker Huffman, GM of the Portland Pickles. If you didn't hear me say that 50 times already, uh, I wish I'd been to a Pickles game. Unfortunately, my time visiting Portland was always centered around the Beavers when they played at the old PGE Park, which is now a football soccer specific stadium, and it's home to the Portland Timbers of Major League Soccer. Uh, One hell of a stadium for soccer. Like if you go to Portland this summer, go to a Pickles game one night, go to a Timbers game the other night, or even check out a Portland Thorns game. That's the club in the National Women's Soccer. And you're going to have an amazing time watching some sporting events in Portland because I do believe that, and this is my opinion, you can disagree with me or not. I think the Portland Timbers is probably one of the best experiences you'll have at a soccer game. I'm sorry, Seattle, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Columbus, Austin, Minnesota. That is just such a cool environment. I love the neighborhood. I love how they took this old stadium and they just retrofitted it and expanded and made it into a nice place for soccer. And I mean, that is such a soccer city. But if you look at the Portland Pickles, they took an old ballpark and they made that into a place to watch summer collegiate baseball as well. So beautiful little place. The official name is Charles B. Walker Stadium at Lentz Park. I call it Walker Stadium. Just make it easy on us. And I think that was built way back in 1956. It was heavily renovated in 2016. And yeah, it's just a fun little place to watch baseball. I mean, renovations and the renovations that took place there included new seating with chairbacks, scoreboard, dugouts, a new grass, playground, other improvements. I'm reading this off Wikipedia. If I sound like a robot, if I sound like Vicky from Small Wonder. So fun little place to see baseball. And, unfortunately, when they made that announcement that the Portland Beavers were leaving because they weren't going to have a baseball stadium because PGE Park was becoming a soccer specific stadium, they wind up going out to Tucson and I think now they're the El Paso Chihuahuas in the Pacific Coast League. And, I It'd be great to have minor league baseball back in Portland, and I'm sure somebody could come up with a plan to build something out there. We don't know when that's coming. I don't think there's any talks. Uh, but in the meantime, you have the Portland Pickles in the West Coast League, and then you got the Hillsboro Hops just right outside of town as well, and they're an affiliate of the San Francisco Giants, and they have a really nice logo as well. So some great baseball, some great sporting events that take place in the Portland, Oregon area during the summertime. Hopefully you're there when it's not raining. Because it's funny, my first time going to a Portland Beavers game was in 2004. And I remember checking out a Beavers game, and it rained earlier in the day. And then by the time the game started, it cleared up, but there wasn't a lot of people there. And then it rained again after 4 innings. So that was my time watching a Beavers game. I went back there in 09, and then I went back there in 2010. I think 2010 was the last year that the Portland Beavers played. So that was nice to get back. That was nice to see some baseball in Portland. That was nice to actually visit Portland when it wasn't raining, because yeah, you can have a summer where it's either, 90 degrees and no rain, or you can have a summer where it's just raining constantly. So that's Portland for you. So hey guys, thank you. Thank you for checking out this edition of the Ballpark Hunter podcast. I would not be here if it wasn't for you. I'd like to thank some of my listeners, like Mr. Zach Beeson. I know he regularly checks out the website. He's an avid Ballpark fan. This guy looks like he's been to a lot of baseball stadiums. Love to have you on the show. I'm just throwing that out there. And it's also a test to see if you're listening to this episode. So you know where to find me. If not, that's fine. Not everybody wants to come on here and get interviewed about baseball. I mean, it's some people like it, some people don't. That's okay. I'd like to thank to my other listeners out there as well. Well, I think that's about it. I don't think I have a lot of avid listeners. I wish I did, or I just don't know. But yeah, when you guys listen to this, let me know how you like the show. Give me some tips. Sometimes I get guests on here and I'm like, oh man, I forgot to ask that question, or oh shoot, I totally forgot to bring this up. Let me know how I'm doing. I'd be more than happy to get guests back on and do a retake. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of time on my hands to talk to people for about a good 40 minutes. And it looks like we're about at the 45-minute mark here for this episode. So remember, check out the Ballpark. Well, not the Ballpark Hunter. I'm not the Ballpark Hunter. I am a Ballpark Hunter. So Ballpark Hunter. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok. You can also check out my YouTube page, which has a lot of cool content. A lot of these podcasts I'm also putting on the Twitter page. I'm sorry, on the YouTube page for enjoyment as well. So thank you. Thank you once again. And as always, stay safe, be happy. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.